Guys, no bullshit, this is gonna be the #1 meme coin video that you've ever seen in your life. I've taken a few $100s to multiple 6 figures trading on chain, on Solana, and I'm gonna show you the exact strategy from zero, complete beginner, to advanced, more nuanced strategies. You can make $700 minimum a day with this strategy. Guys, we've been printing daily in my community, Rage Pro. I got a full A to Z community that you can check out as well, and I'll even show you, like, I'm up right now on a play. You can see there over 13k live account. That's my Axiom. What I want you guys to do is lock in on this video. I'm gonna keep the intro brief. We're not gonna do too much fluff. We're gonna jump straight into the training family. Join the community if you want to take trading seriously. We're sharing the alpha every single week. Don't trade alone, but most importantly, take notes, learn something, and let me know what you want to see more or less stuff. Hope you guys love the video.
So first of all, step one, you guys want to make sure you're on Axiom Pro. Again, I've tried everything, Nova, Padre. Padre's cool, but still Axiom is superior in a lot of ways, and I'm gonna show you basically how we use it, and basically everything I teach is already revolved around here, so this is where we're gonna stick to. If you don't have the link, you can get the link, assuming you guys are already on it. Go ahead, set it up, very simple. You could just use the code RAGE, you'll have double the rewards, less fees, the whole thing. But once you get started, the very first thing that you want to do is just fund up. Okay, you'll go here, you'll deposit, and you'll fund up your account. Once you fund up your account, you're gonna have a bunch of Solana. It's gonna show you the total value in your account, and boom, now you're funded up. Very simple. Axiom is the only one that makes it that simple, because you can actually fund up straight through Coinbase here by depositing there. Once you do that, family, you're gonna see the pulse section that I'm on now. The pulse section is the most important section of scanning, as you guys probably already know. And side note, this right here that you see is a Focane add-on that I have, and I'm gonna show you exactly what that does. If I click here, it gives you additional chart links, and it gives you DEX banners, which is more faster. It gives, like, for me, it updates DEX faster than Axiom does, and it gives me additional chart links. You guys know I like to chart on DEX Screener as well and add things to my list on DEX Screener, so it gives me the DEX Screener button, which I also really like. So you can see here, for example, right, so when you turn that on, that's there, and then what you also have is all the other links to everything else. So it's like DEX Screener, Padre, Bullx, GMGN, like you can pull it up on any other one, which I like as well. So that's the chart links that it gives you, and then it also does it pulls the DEX Screener really fast. That's the only add-on that I use. I don't use really anything else. I know Ucento is really popular right now. I haven't really got into it just because Axiom keeps adding those updates anyway, so it's pretty straightforward. Now on Pulse, you see it's a little bit backwards. I don't know why. I just been trenching in the classic sense lately. Market's been kind of dry. I have my conviction bags, but when I'm trenching, as you guys know, there's conviction bag trading, which is my favorite style of trading. I make more money doing conviction any day, but trenching and scalping is also fun as well. And when I'm scalping, that's basically just in and out of trades. You're getting, you know, 50%, 2x's. Every once in a while, you'll catch a 5, 10x, just like that. You find a runner, and it's cool. Now, when I'm trenching though, you guys know usually it's new pairs, final stretch, and migrated. Ever since the Axiom new update, they let you change the display however you want, and I just changed it to if you look over here on the layout here on extras, I mean, you can put the table layout on extras however you want it. So usually it's new pairs, final stretch, migrated, but I'm always looking on the right side naturally for migrated, but lately I've been trading new pairs, so I like to keep that one where my eyes just automatically go. But you don't have to do that. Obviously, usually it's new pairs, final stretch, migrated. Now, new pairs, as you guys know, this is where every deploy gets created. You're gonna see it here first. Now, for the sake of this video, I showed you guys my filters before, but really quick, what you want to look at mainly on protocols on new pairs is Pump, Bonk, and Jupiter Studio. Right now, the meta is Pump, Bonk, and Jupiter Studio. Recently, Jupiter Studio flipped Pump. Right when Uranus took off, we did the whole thesis here last week. I told you guys buy Uranus. I told you guys buy Detective. You know, that was a 20x play. Uranus 15x play. We got in on this call. It was probably 5, 6x. The inner circle got it first, but still, X's is X's. So Pump, Bonk, Jupiter. Now on audit, age maximum 5 minutes. Dev holdings maximum 5%, holders minimum 10. Then on metrics, 2400 volume. For the sake of this video, I'll make actually gonna put it at 9,000. Lately I've been having it at 9,000. So boom, that's gonna be new pairs. If you go to final stretch, you're gonna have the same protocols. Again, add Jupiter Studio. Age maximum 20 minutes. Volume 15k on minimum market cap 15k as well. You're gonna apply that, then migrate it. You're gonna go over to pump, bonk, Jupiter Studio. I believe in the near future we're gonna have a Jupiter Studio type of meta, because the way that Meow, aka the owner of Jupiter Studio, is like bull posting, he's bull posting Uranus is gonna pop 100 mil, and I think that's around the time where that euphoria starts to happen. We're gonna see a lot of deploys on Jupiter Studio, and that's something to look out for. That's why I'm already front running that. Adjust your settings to it now, because once that happens, the trenches are gonna be hot. We're gonna catch crazy runners back to back to back. So something to look out for. Holders minimum 200, metrics 75k minimum. That's it, simple as that. All right, now the reason why we do it like that is just to filter out all the bullshit, and you're gonna see that, because even with those filters, you still have to have a human touch of just knowing what's funny. You still have to know basic on-chain literacy and things of that nature. And when I say those things, what does that mean? If you look at over here, roots, know your roots. Okay, you see top 10 holders is 25%, and it shows you the bubble maps right on hover. Now bubble maps just show you basically what type of bundles are in the coin. If you see too many clusters on any bubble maps, that's just showing you that the coin is bundled to shit. It's the same people at the top controlling all the supply. They might let it run a little bit, but it's going to nuke. The whole chart is eventually going to nuke. You don't want to get into anything that's just going to nuke on you. So you want to make sure distribution is fairly safe. Now in the beginning, if you're looking on new pairs, it's almost always going to be on the red, because the top 20 holders are always going to control most of the supply in the beginning of a brand new deploy. So things that you're looking for is dev sold. Dev sold, you don't need any dev these days. Everything is community takeover. Everything is CTO now. You don't need devs to run a meme, but usually it's some type of team that takes over, run socials, things of that nature. When I say socials, what do I mean? Well, if you look at roots, you go here, you click on this group. Axiom actually shows you communities as well in real time over the hover. So you'll go ahead, you'll click it, and you'll see what this is about. Roots community, and then you'll get an idea of what the narrative is here. So I guess this is the roots of memes. Okay, I guess this is like, it's showing all the OG memes that ran up crazy, right? We have Chill Guy, we have the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 AI series thing, we have the Fwog, like everything. Fred, Michi, Moodang, Peanut, Billy. And one thing that I want you guys to know is just understanding lore, understanding culture. You should be able to see a chart like this and know every single one of these memes. You got the Patrick memes, you got the memes AI. These were all runners from the past year. And lately, also, I just want to give you guys another tip. Lately, what you'll see is a lot of runners, maybe what some of the ones you even see here, Sigma, we're starting to see the ones that died out on Pump get reborn on Bonk. That's alpha right there. Yesterday, last night, we was in Pro VC scanning, and we caught a few X's just by finding plays that I saw from last year on Pump that no longer exist, but it just got redeployed on Bonk. And just as a trader, I know most traders will see that, be familiar with it, know its potential. Even if it doesn't go multi-mils, we're catching X's regardless. So it's important to trade with other people who know what they're talking about. That's why we trade together. That's why we're in the group chats. That's why we ask questions. That's why you need a community. And that's what Race Pro is for. Knowing all of this lore is very important, and you have to catch up. If you don't understand all the lore, you're not going to be profitable. Memes, as much as I show you guys technical analysis and all of these things, that works on higher market cap coins, but that doesn't work as strongly, or that's not a priority when it comes to trenching, because the narrative is always first. Catalyst is always first. So that's one thing you have to know. You have to look at the socials. Is it well done socials? Is it a well done narrative? Honestly, the narrative I just showed you, this roots thing, it is shit. It's not even a good, I wouldn't bid it, because it's just like the community, there's no notable members. It's growing really slow. I get what they're trying to do, but it just seems weak. Roots, yeah, no, I don't really like it. And then just being able to vibe with it. So Flame by Matt Fury, you see this. Matt Fury is a famous artist, especially in memes. He was behind like Pepe and a lot of these big memes that blew up, and you'll see a lot of Matt Fury themed memes. Every once in a while it becomes a meta in itself. And I guess inspired by Matt Fury, powered by you, talking about this could be something. Okay, but the post is very 500 views. I mean, it is a brand new post, brand new, no followers, no community yet. It's still kind of so it's always a huge gamble. You can't be both confident and early. So that's why I say when you're trenching, you are gambling in a sense, but you're gambling with an edge. When you know lore, you know crypto culture, you know significant holders, you know the right wallets to track, you'll more so have an edge and be able to catch those X's. So that's how you basically scan for a pair, and those are the things that I'm looking for. So if you look, can't afford a whole cat, CA, and it's basically a cat with his head cut off because you can't afford a whole cat. Okay, so if you look here, I always go to the 1 second chart, right? We look at the socials. You're basically looking at all of these things. Look, this thing just rugged. You could tell it was bundled because the first thing that will tell you a coin is bundled just by looking at the chart is by looking at this right here. When you see the first candle just go crazy like that, that's one person buying all the supply, or a lot of supply in one transaction, right? So it went up crazy. There was no zigzag, right? There was none of this, just straight up in the beginning on the first candle. That's automatically the chart telling you that one person just scooped up a whole bunch of supply and they're controlling the supply, okay? And then they let a bunch of newbies come in, bid their soul, and then they just dumped in one transaction. So you want to stay away from that. Axiom kind of shows you and warns you as well. It showed you that 33% of the supply was bundled. So it did show you that, okay? It did show snipers, which is almost the same thing. People who snipe in early in the beginning of a launch to hoard up some supply to dump on you later. You don't want snipers in your token. And insiders is like a sloppy way to bundle is when you just airdrop tokens to another wallet, but it's the same person controlling all the wallets. So it's to make distribution appear like it's not a red flag, although it still is. And these days, the bundle technology and stuff like that, devs could pay money and really bundle things smoothly. So you got to be careful. It's always going to be a risk when you're trading on new pairs because of these things. Holders are just a normal amount of holders. Anybody with a wallet address who buys into the coin on Phantom, whatever. Pro traders are people who are trading on platforms like Axiom, Padre, BullX, and so on, right? So Dex paid, it's always going to show you with if you have the Focane extension added, make sure you download it in the official Google Chrome store, okay? Don't get scammed. You don't got to download anything or anything like that. It's literally just a Google Chrome extension. It'll automatically show you when the Dex is paid, but Axiom shows you as well. And I was in the middle of telling you guys that this is obviously a weak ticker, all right? I didn't see it was bundled yet, but just off of the ticker, I knew it was weak, but just for education purpose, I want to show you. So we could go back to Pulse, and you're looking at all these analytics in real time, and you're seeing basically what's worth bidding and what's not worth bidding. You can sit here for a whole hour, 2 hours, and not bid anything. It could just be straight bullshit for a few hours, and then out of nowhere things will heat up and things will run back to back to back to back. Or maybe you can scan for a whole day and maybe only catch 2-3 really good coin. So the idea is you want to be very picky with your approach. You want to do your due diligence on every single token the same way you just saw me do it, and do not ape what you don't understand. As a beginner, you shouldn't be on new pairs. I know I'm showing you how I've been trading new pairs lately. That's just me personally. When I'm on new pairs, I like to see on the right, and it's just easier for me to see with these filters, and I just ape what I understand fast. But it is a bit of a higher skill set because I've been in the trenches for a really long time, and I'm able to see patterns relatively quickly. Just like the last pair I showed you, I showed you all of the lore behind that one ticker. Most people can't even do that if you weren't scanning for 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day for the past year. You just can't do that. So it's a different game. So what I suggest is sitting on migrated, okay? You sit on migrated and you ape what you understand from there, okay? Because at this level, you're not seeing anything under 75K, and ideally anything holding up above 100K is going to be a good entry for some X's. You could catch 2, 3, 4, 5 X's easy, and every once in a while you'll get lucky, catch a 10, 20 X, but you want to ape what you understand. And if you see here, I see what we got. Today was kind of like a slower day. Nothing really went crazy. I see Smirk. There's like a Charlie, that political guy. I forget his Charlie something. News. I was talking about news. I like the narrative on news. I caught this yesterday at 20K market cap. It died to 0, and then I saw it run up today. Just off the narrative, I liked it. This is a pretty decent play. Platypus. I seen this. This ran up off of Jupiter ecosystem. I saw this around 100K. It's up around 20% from where I saw it. Now, again, you gotta kind of just do your due diligence. You would see Platypus and you wouldn't even understand. I already looked at the token and I scanned it, so I understand. News for the unemployed. This is just kind of based basic. I saw the ticker and I already understood it. It's just depending on if the CTO does what the CTO needs to do and they really continue the lore and build, you know, the community, this will send 100%. I like news because I've been seeing it on Twitter all over. If you guys are active on Twitter, you've probably seen it too. When somebody posts like Kai Cenat breaking news, he's just broke up with his girl, everybody would comment under it like, yeah, this is news for the unemployed, because who the fuck cares? It's like retarded shit. Everything is so degenerate nowadays. So like the news for the unemployed has been just like a funny meme that I've been seeing. So when I saw it get tokenized last night, I was just too early, right? Bought in at 20k, it went to 0. I was like, okay, I took a small loss. But when you're that early, it's not like crazy. I seen it get revived like crazy today. But platypus, that's not so evident. What the hell is a platypus and why is it holding at 163 right now? So you want to ask yourself that. So this is where you do due diligence. You go ahead and you check what the coin is about, right? So you look here, you can automatically see this guy has 42k followers. That's not a small thing. It says cat herder at Jupiter Exchange. He works at Jupiter Exchange and you see he has a Jupiter Exchange affiliate badge. Long story short, you see him bull posting a lot of Jupiter. He's a core part of the Jupiter team. Okay, so he's somebody of importance within Jupiter. So I'm just like, okay, I see they're talking about on-chain conditions. I skimmed through it, right? They were talking about on-chain problems that we face and, you know, finding the right tickers and how the community has to be involved to know what's real and what's not real and how to whatever, right? Basically, you get here and you see him talk about, imagine Elon says platypus and gets retweeted by Donald Trump, blah blah, and then boom, he literally put a ticker of platypus. Like I said, Jupiter Eco's heating up. As you can see, they're very active. They're putting their thoughts on the markets. They're bull posting the shit out of their coins. We called Uranus for like the past 2 weeks. Begged y'all. I was on my knees practically telling you guys, just don't miss out on this play because we knew these things would happen. Now I'm telling you, things like platypus are gonna blow up just because it's on Jupiter Eco. So with Axiom, it shows you top 10 active holders by average buy. This is a good idea of just to know where the top 10 average holders are and how much they're holding, and like it just gives you a pretty good idea of that for entries or what so have you. So as you can see here, so if you click preset here, this is what I was looking for, preset here, you can edit your buy settings and your sell settings. So buy settings, 30% slippage, I have priority and bribe set as so, but I have auto fees set up. But what you can do is just do 0.001. If you're new to space or you have like a smaller port, you just put 0.001s. Doesn't really matter because Axiom is so fast. Keep MEF protection on and just put 0.001. On sell settings, you don't need a bribe. 0.001. I have 100% slippage. You can put, you know, 40-50% slippage. That's just so that I don't get, you know, like failed transactions, right? But if transactions are important to you and you don't want any failed transactions at all and you want to be like higher first transactions, then you can do something like auto, where it'll just automatically give you the best presets for said conditions. This could get expensive though, depending on volume and things of that nature. So, you know, you can just put lowest possible, or you could put another settings with like 0.02 and just keep it at that 0.02, whatever the case is. I find auto fees are decent for me. I like them. Works pretty good. This might be some alpha as well. I would wait for a retrace, get in around where the top 10 average holders bought in. That's some free alpha right there. That's how you scan. A lot of people are lazy. They just want to catch X's just off volume, but they don't understand narratives. They don't know when to hold or anything. Now, I've done in-depth trainings on how to read narratives, how to spot, you know, certain ceilings on different market caps and things of that nature. But what I'm showing you here is important because a lot of people won't even do that. All I did was click a few buttons, read a post, and just do my due diligence. Most people, that would have went right over your head. You would have never understood why platypus is running up the way it's running. How are you going to trade like that? You're just trying to trade blind and you think you're going to make money is absolutely ridiculous. That's how failures operate, and you're never going to make it if you can't form an independent thought or independent thesis when you're getting into trades. You got to know the plan before you even get into the trade, because then if something goes wrong, at least you'll know why it went wrong and you can learn from it and get better. But if you're just following other people's trades only, don't get me wrong, in Rage Pro we send fire scans. A lot of people are making money, but at the end of the day, they're also learning from it. They're doing their due diligence as well on top of taking a trade, right? And they're sticking to the plan, they're sticking to the rules. Literally, I looked at who the guy was. Obviously, I don't know who this guy is. I don't follow him or anything. But really quick, you see like the Jupiter signs, you see the Jupiter affiliate, you do a little bit of research. I did maximum 2 minutes of research right in front of you, and we found so much information, and you can see why this is bullish, especially if you stuck around. If you guys were on last week and you found out why we got in Uranus and my whole thesis on the Jupiter launch pad, all that played out to the T. Meow started bull posting our bags just like we thought. Community went sicko just like we thought. And now you see more people on the Jupiter team, throwing subliminal shills, right? Because I get somebody just tokenized it. But again, I can see Jupiter launch, Jupiter Eco heating up in the near future, especially as Uranus just keeps hitting these alternate. Once Uranus, I'm telling you now, smashes 100 mil, and it's not if, it's when. Okay, so if you aren't positioned, get positioned. But what's gonna happen next is the Jupiter launchpad is gonna heat up. We're gonna see deploys on Jupiter. There's gonna be a bunch of potential opportunities just off of that launchpad for a couple days, maybe a week. Look, it just paid decks in real time. You guys see Focane happen in real time. You saw this just pop up. It happened so fast you probably didn't even realize it. But yeah, okay. So what I like to do when I'm trading too, I don't like the 2-step clicks. A lot of times, Axiom just did this update as well. You could go ahead and hide the chart. I don't even be looking at that stuff except for volume here, and I have my instant trade up. I keep it usually on this side because I'm watching the chart on this side, and you click it with this button right here, instant trade. Okay, and it's pretty easy. You press one button and it just instant fills you fast. Really nice. I love it. So that's what I'm using for the most part. Instant trade, one-click buys and sells. Beautiful. Now, the next thing that you guys want to know or understand is trackers. Now, as you can see, I don't have my Twitter trackers because I've been using the one in Rage Pro. The Twitter tracker Rage Pro is beautiful. The one on Axiom is beautiful too. But real quick, one of the trackers that I use when I'm trenching is like, say I'm on Pulse and like I'm looking at a chart. Let's say we're looking at Goon. What I'll do is I'll have the Pulse tracker right here on the bottom up, so that I can still scan while even I'm in a trade. Does that make sense? So this is a fire add-on. So you'll click the Pulse tracker down here, and I'm looking on migrated, and I'm still able to see what's migrating, what's in final stretch, while I'm just kind of managing my trade. And right here I have it on 5 minute. I'll go bring it down to 5 seconds because when you're on new pairs, obviously you need to see some data. I usually have that. So now with just everything, I don't want it too cluttered. So for the most part, I use the Rage Twitter tracker, but we also have the full handles that we have on Twitter tracker, all the ones we track. I have it in Rage Pro. You guys can download that and literally just import it. You can import it here. You'll go to import and you'll paste the whole text that I give you guys in Rage Pro, and it'll automatically give you everything here. I used to have it, but it reset it here too when Axiom just updated. I don't know why it reset, or maybe I resetted it by accident, but whatever. I haven't been using it on Axiom because I used the Rage Pro one anyway, so whatever. And then you have the wallet tracker. Okay, we have so many insiders, good traders, things of that nature. Now they added it where you can group them. I'm guessing it works like in a multi-buy signal type of way, which we also have in Rage Pro. But the same wallets we track in Rage Pro, I have in here, so I can see it printed on the chart. And basically the way you see your person printed on the chart is basically this. You show their bubble, and then they'll show their bubble on any given chart like this. Their buys and their sells will get printed on the chart, and they'll tell you how much SOL or USD, and you can edit it how you want it. But everything is like so customizable on Axiom now, it's actually ridiculous. So if you want to see their bubbles printed on your chart, you'll make sure that this is toggled, and you could just click them all or unclick them all. Notifications for certain people, I don't like notifications. I just like them printed on the chart sometimes. But I use the tracker and Rage Pro as well for the most part, because I'm only really looking at my chart and scanning when I'm on Axiom for the most part. But what you want to do to activate it, if it's not already activated, since they updated this, you'll click this button right here, right? You'll click the sidebar, and then you'll just click the group. Okay, and then you'll make sure the group is toggled, and then you can always just pull up your wallet tracker while you're scanning as well. So if I go to Pulse, I go to wallet tracker, it pulls up here. Okay, and then you can put it wherever you want. So for example, I can drag it. It could be floating, right? You could put it like in a section, whatever. You can have their noties on. It'll pop up in the middle. I don't keep the noties on because I'm not watching anybody that close. I trust my own analysis for the most part. So like, I don't really care too much, but it is a good signal for getting in and out of certain trades, or like if something is hyped and maybe you missed it and you're not scanning so like diligently, because if you're scanning, you're going to catch it yourself anyways, probably before other traders do. But again, when you're new, you don't really know what to look for. before, one of the best things to do is just watch what a lot of people are aping into at the same time. Okay, so if I see, for example, cupsies and everything, but certain traders, I see the same ticker over and over from different traders in a small amount of time. And in Rage Pro, we have it already as a multi-buy signal. But even if you're just using the Axiom one, if you see the same ticker over and over and over, that's probably something you want to look into and do some due diligence on. Okay, so that's the wallet tracker, and that's how you set it up. Then they have the monitor, just gives you a lot more information on where they got in, how much they got out. It's so in depth, it's actually crazy, and you could even quick buy whatever tickers at any given time. And then the cool thing here is, I'll go ahead and get out of that so it's not so confusing, but you can add settings. Like, you can mess with your settings in any type of way with the live trades, with how the toasts pop up and everything like that, right? All of this stuff. Okay, now if I go back to the chart, another thing that I want to show you guys when it comes to trading on Axiom is basically the settings here, right? So one thing that you guys want to have is the account for fees and the average line on. Okay, so it just accounts for the fees that you're paying for. I have open charts on auto scale. You can copy these settings here, but I have my average buy line, average sell line, and then top holders buy line. If you didn't see it, the number of holders, I have it just regular top 10. It shows me that as well. And you could do top holders sell line as well. So there's so much information. You don't want to get into information overload. There's so many settings, so much information that you can find that it could get overwhelming, but you don't want to get lost in the information, but you actually want to know how to use it. You got to know everything, and then you could pick and choose what makes sense for you, the same way I'm showing you what makes sense for me. And then you can add anything to your watch list. Okay, once you add it to your watch list, it'll show up here. Okay, it'll show up there, and then you can keep an eye on it, whether you want to get in on it or not later. You can go to vision. Now what vision is it shows you all the top KOLs. So it shows you like people with docked wallets. A lot of these guys are streamers and stuff like that. They're not the best wallets to track all the time, for real, but you can watch them and see which wallets you like. You have people like Cupsy who's in thousands of trades in a day pretty much, but then you have people like Gake or Pal who's in a handful of trades in a day. So you want to have a good mix of different type of traders, and like I said, the alpha in that is really going to be the multi-buy signal, seeing a lot of people ape in. But again, it's a balance, right? Because sometimes it could just be collusion, right? They're aping in, they're gonna dump on it later. Or sometimes it could be just way too much hype. The faster it goes up, the faster it goes down. So you want to be careful with those things. I end up scalping a lot of those pairs until it becomes like a full conviction play for me personally. Those are the things that you want to look for when you're trading. And then when you're in trades, you want to look at technical analysis just for the best entries and the best exits. I've done multiple technical analysis videos in the past 30 days. That's basically how you trench. That's how you're looking at pairs. Again, mine's is inverted, new pairs is here, migrate is here ever since they did the update. But those are the things that you want to look for. And then I've told you guys before, basically look at deck screener, because on Axiom you can only see migrated pairs for the past 24 hours. That's it. Flavor of the day coins, that's nothing more, nothing less. But a lot of times the real alpha is going to be way past that. The real alpha is going to be a coin that launched 2-3 days ago, or a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, and it just hasn't popped off yet. It's probably just been accumulating. And then here is where technical analysis really shine more. Obviously, meme coins is always going to be attention economy, attention based, but here's where you can actually get in on some type of alpha before it explodes. So for example, you see Annie here. We called this as well a few times here at this 30k level. Yesterday, Tom, owner of Bonk, bull posted the shit out of it. So it just from his bull post, it went from 24 all the way up to 60 mil. It looks like it's recovering. I would say this, once it comes back into this area, if you could get 30 mil again, start picking up some supply and letting it ride. This could be something that goes to 100 mil. It already almost touched it. It topped here. Next time could be the time where it actually holds up. Elon Musk, there's a lot of catalysts that can happen here. And again, you never want to over risk on any one trade, because anything can happen. No matter how much conviction you have, you want to stick to your rules. But if you get in low enough, anything in this accumulation area I think is good, which you can see it's approaching, is going to touch. Ideally 30 mil again. This is where we've been bidding. Anything within here, cool. You can only do this type of analysis on deck screener. You won't even see Annie on Pulse. Obviously you could search Annie and mark up or whatever there, but for the most part on deck screener you can see these coins. Now Uranus, we call this since the lows. Okay, we've been calling this all the way since down here, 6.5 mil. We have one touch, 2 touch, 3 touches, came up, retested, and then over the weekend we just had this crazy explosive fucking god candle. Now it looks like it's going to break new highs again. I told you guys in Rage Pro, next stop is 100 mil. I put this in general chat, alpha chat, talked about it in the stream last week. Free money. All right, at this point we're sitting up a lot of money. During the week I've been telling you guys it's going to come back, touch this area of support, boom, and it's already off to the races again. All right, so I would love to see this hit 100 mil. Once that happens, you're gonna see Jupiter Eco heat up, and we're just gonna have more runners. All right, don't bid the betas. Might as well just size into the alpha, catch a 2-3x. Once it breaks 100 mil, that's a psychological level. What's gonna happen is once that gets broken, it's like the sky's the limit. Then 200-300 mil, it could go crazy long term if you hold it long enough. But even from where we got in, it's already up more than 10x. Beautiful trade. So those are the things that you want to look for. I like GP. Oops. This is Nub. We've been in Nub since sub 5 mil. GP is a really good coin. We've been looking to get in on this yellow level golden ratio. Fibs 61.8 is always going to be the golden ratio. You go from swing low, like I did here, to swing high. And what happens? It came back down. It touched this golden level. And it looks like to be playing off of this golden level. I can see this. My favorite level in memes is always 78.6. I would want to bid here more so. Graphite Protocol is what powers Bonk. Bonk is the main character right now. It's outperforming Pump Fund, Jupiter, all of them put together. And basically they're doing huge buybacks. Price is going up like crazy on every time, you know, they make announcements and do the burns and stuff like that. Bunch of tech stuff. But if you believe in Bonk Eco, GP is not one that you want to fade. Don't get scared off of the high market cap stuff, because these are coins that you can just DCA into and size into comfortably and sleep at night and not worry about getting rubbed. That's why we look on Deck Screener for the more conviction plays. I'm completely comfortable putting in some money into this every other day, every time it hits my level, and going to sleep. It's going to be up. It's only going to go up. But you got to do your own due diligence and build your own conviction and understand these things as well. That's how you become a better trader, right? You want to be informed, you want to be educated, or else you're just gambling, you're just going to lose money. Okay, now there's jeans. We caught this yesterday at the low. It went up 10x, so that's kind of late. So man, if you're not a Rage Pro, don't fade it. Detective, we already called this last week, but this is still a good play. I talked about this earlier about it hitting 1 mil as an entry level. It's already up from 1 mil. I would wait for it to bounce. I think it could still have a nice little bounce around 1 mil, or even play within this channel. I called this in Rage Pro, you know, at 160k. It's still 10x from that, 30x from the high, but whatever. It's still a strong coin. 5 mil was only our first target, even though, but once you're up 30x, you're up 30x. You know, it's like most people probably already took their profits, but if you want to double dip or you missed it and you're finally ready to stop fading, then 1 mil is a pretty good entry. And you can still hold this 2-3x, you know, at least maybe up to the previous resistance, right? Resistance is the ceiling, support is the floor, or you can, if you want, you can hold it a little bit stronger than that. I still see maximum potential. I see this thing everywhere, every single where. Next TP could be right here around 3 mil. That's how I do my take profits. With fibs, it's opposite when you're doing take profits versus retracements. You'll go from swing high to swing low, and then, you know, 161 level is a really good level usually. 3 mil, boom. From 1 mil, just get a good entry, so it's good risk to reward. Going for a nice 3x, boom. Just buy, hold, let it rock. Not much bad can happen on a coin that's already been holding 1 mil, bounced a few times. Hit, you know, like there's a lot of volume here. There's a lot of holders. There's a lot of believers. So yeah, family. So those are the things that I would look for when it comes to trading. That's how you do your due diligence. Even on Deck Screener, you want to make sure you look at what's going on. Let's look at Troll, for example. This we've been calling since 12 mil. Been begging everybody to just keep buying, because when it first hit 12 mil, we were talking about it. But look at how many times it ranged. You know how much conviction you have to have and how much patience you have to have, but it's always worth it, because at the end of the day, a 5x on a conviction bag where you're able to size into, it's not new pairs where you're bidding half a soul or a soul and you're at so much risk. With a conviction play, you could put 3, 4, 5, 10 soul. Some people in Rage Pro put in 30, 40 soul in conviction plays when you're able to hold. So even here, so it hit 12 mil again last week. Some people got shaken out, but if you were able to hold and have conviction in your bags, boom, we're up 5x, and I've been very vocal about Troll as well. Look at the community, 11k followers, 4.7k members in the group, active, memes every single day, notable holders, notable traders. It's been shilled by every single person, Elon himself, the leader of Pump Fund. So it's just like, you gotta pay attention to crypto Twitter. You gotta know the lore. You gotta understand certain catalysts. That's what's gonna make your bags fly, understanding these things, understanding technical analysis. Again, I did a whole full thing on technical analysis. I'm still dropping the full technical analysis in the group. I just done master classes where I already went over it, but I'll go step by step for you guys as well. So look out for that. I'm just gonna do a A through Z. Anybody can come in and learn full technical analysis, even if you never traded a day in your life. I'm just gonna break it down. So I'll do that for you guys as well. It's gonna be in the course by the end of the week, easily. So that's gonna be fire. And yeah, so that's basically what you're looking for. Do your due diligence. Don't be lazy. You got to be able to form an independent thought for yourself, family. You have to, okay? And then you got to practice risk management. And then for a new person, I'll tell you this. Like, risk management is as simple as this. Risk management is, if you start with 10 SOL, let's say you start with 10 SOL. Every trade is going to be 5% of your port. 5% of your port. So what is that? That is a 0.5, half a SOL. This is how you're going to trade on new pairs, and even on conviction plays, you could do higher, like 10% of your port, because it's conviction plays. But also, if you got the entry that you want, amazing. But if you don't have the entry that you want and you're like, just want to put in a position, then put it 5% and then put the other 5% at the entry that you feel like it could go to. But let's say you got a little bit of FOMO, you don't want to miss the entry, similar to Uranus. Uranus, I was telling you guys, it looked like it was going to hold up at 45. There was a chance it'll hold up at 35. It held up at 45. So in that case, maybe you got less of an entry, but you were still ready to deploy more capital with risk management still. So on a 10 port SOL, hypothetically, you put in 5% when you're trading on Pulse. Any coin, just put in 5% and don't overport. Let your ports play out. You get a 10, 20, 30% in a day, you're already up 300%. So it's like you go for the small plays and you build it up so that when you have those convictions are worth it. So again, you put in 5%, and for the most part, you want to get those low risk, high reward so that you're not exposing yourself to too much risk. What I mean by that is this: once you're down around 50%, 60%, you can start de-risking or just cutting your loss, right, on new pairs. If it's a conviction play, a lot of times you can just hold it and see, because it's not going to rug on you the way it would on new pairs. If it's a conviction play, you guys will see sometimes I'll hold conviction plays through 60% and it'll just run all the way back up just off of one catalyst. But that's why you don't over risk, because you can still lose. You could lose 10 trades in a row with 5% and still make it all back on one 5x, one 10x. You're up double. So it's like, that's how you want to play it. But if you're on new pairs, it's a lot riskier. So it's like, you definitely want to cut your losses and survive to trade another day. It's a different game. So 10 SOL, 5%, which is going to be a 0.5, and then maximum 10% to 15% of your entire port on one trade if it's a conviction play. And then you still have capital to deploy because you only put in 5%. So it dips, you still believe in it, there's no real FUD around it, it's still real, right? Then you put your another 0.5, and then it bounces off of that support one more time and you feel like it's ready, you put in that next 0.5. Next thing you know, the trade goes up 5-10x, you're up 15 SOL on one conviction play from your. You can lose 10 trades in a row and still not even be down 15 SOL. And that's the idea of risk management. That's how you gain an edge in this whole thing. I hope that makes sense. So the more disciplined you are with that, the better it's going to be. So yeah, family, that's how you're going to have risk management on every single trade. That's how you excel with Axiom and run it up. Any questions, let me know. I'm going to be doing more streams. We're going to be running it up. A lot of people have been asking for more YouTube videos. I'll kick it up. We're going to go crazy. So I'll catch y'all. Much love. Appreciate y'all.